Howdy lovelies, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Wawa Crafting, where we learn, grow and craft together. In today's tips and tricks session, we are going to make our own stencils. I will show you the very basics and you can be a little bit more adventurous and then go ahead and make your own. So what do we need? A piece of scrap cardstock, not too thick, and some sticky tape, sellotape, packaging tape, call it what you want. And we are going to start with a 1-hole punch. It shouldn't be too wide because the punch won't fit. As you get a little bit more used to this, you can then use your craft knife and take a pattern that you printed from somewhere, blocks or whatever that might be, and you can then cut it out. But for today, a simple one. We'll stick to little circles. So here I have a scrap piece of cardstock. You can cut it with your craft knife, or you can simply cut it with a pair of scissors because it's really not that wide or long. We can use that for another one. Going to add some tape, if I can just find the edge of this. Get your bone folder or a gift card as we're going to garnish this. Oh, sorry for that. The tape is just there to reinforce this a tiny little bit. If it makes any wrinkles, not to worry. And the same thing, we're going to trim that. That is really just to reinforce. So I'm going to just fold that over so I know where to search for the edge. You can fold that in or just simply trim this piece off. I prefer to trim it off. Then you are going to take your 1-hole punch and you are going to punch randomly, not in a given pattern. We'll turn it over in a little bit. You don't have a lot of maneuverability, but trust me, this will work out just fine. If you want it perfectly in the middle, you can go ahead and try and measure your spaces where you want these. I want one in there. Let me try and see if I can get one up there somewhere. Not really. So there we go. That one will be fine. And then one there, maybe one there, one at the edge. Doesn't have to be perfect. And there you have it. I want one there still. Somewhere there. Maybe one there. And that is it. Now I'm going to try and do the same thing. And we will try and cut this out with a craft knife and a ruler. And let's do some squares. Again, some packaging tape to reinforce this. For this one, let's do a few blocks. We still have this little bit to trim off. Let's do that quickly. And the edge, as I said, the sticky tape just makes this a tiny little bit more. And we'll burnish it now. Parts that I've skipped, that's better. Into the bin with that. Into the bin with the rubbish. Now, ruler. Going to just burnish this tape. Make sure that is on there really well. There's a bit of a wrinkle, but it's not the end of the world. Now, again, you can decide how you want this. You can make big blocks. You can make small blocks. Just leave a little bit of an edge. Somehow, it can literally be random. You can cut it freehand. You can do it by first tracing a pattern on here. Doesn't have to just be squares. It can be all kinds of rectangles. You can make it a brick pattern if you want to. Tiny small squares. It really is up to you. It's just to give interest to your projects. Let's go on a little bit. Let's make one this way. And really, this is just freehand. You can see this. No pattern that I'm cutting out. Just pop those ones out. And this is why we have the tape. It will just reinforce this a whole lot more. Try not to cut through, so be careful. Don't do like I did. I just cut that one. So what I now need to do is put a tiny piece of paper there so that I can actually glue this down. And I'm just thinking, what will I use for that? I will use a bit of glue. Let me just check which one is it. That one. I torn that. And very, very sad. I will just take a tiny little bit of this so that we can repair it. And just reinforce it that tiny little bit. And now you know how to do that. So I added that tiny little bit of orange cardstock there. Glue it down. And let's continue with this pattern. It's just a spanner in the works, not the end of the world. Let's go for a bigger block here. We'll do a smaller one in a while. Let's just cut that to the corner. There we have that. Now one here, a tiny little one. Not so wide. Some of them really come out easily. Others need a little bit more encouragement. And for a moment there, I thought I cut that one too, but it's just the sticky tape that is coming undone a little bit. Now this is not a permanent fix. You will see you will be able to use this a number of times. I see one little area that I would love to add another one. Where was that? I think there. And maybe one there. Over time you will see that the sticky tape will come off and you can then just punch another one. If you have bigger shape punches, you can use that. And just punch some sort of stencil for yourself. And as you can see, this is really not too difficult to do. It really is the easiest thing. I want a square there, sort of a square. It's not a perfect square. You can even use things like laminated sheets and cut this out of that. That is also quite sturdy. And I just torn that one. So we have to do first aid there as well. Yeah, this one. So that little strip, where did I put it now? I will just cut another one from there. And there is our square stencil or rectangle stencil also done, and it is ready to be used. I just want to throw these little pieces away. You could easily use this for collage fodder as well. Now let's put this to the test and see if we can actually use these stencils. I'm going to first start with a circle. Get this out of the way. And I'm going to just take my vintage photo, as that is close by. Hold it down. Remember, if you want to block off the ends and not use parts of this and make a mess on your project, you can add some post-it notes wherever you want. And this is just a practice run, so there we have that. And now the square. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but just hold it in place as it can move. But you can see it's working. And as I said earlier, no, it won't be as sturdy as the stencils that are commercially made, produced, and done with machines. It's really more durable, as it's made with that plastic that is specifically made for stencils. And there we have it. So tried and tested, 2 little stencils. I will put that to one side, as I will use this somewhere in the near future. I hope you learned how to make your own stencils, and that you will realize it is actually quite easy to make your own, and that you don't have to sit back and say, I don't have stencils. You can also have the added pleasure of making your own stencils. Thanks for joining me. Please go try this for yourself. Show me what you have made so that I can also have some ideas. If you want to see more content like this, tips and tricks to help you, please give me a thumbs up. And as always, I'll be appreciating it if you subscribe to my channel too. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that notification bell so that you do not miss out on new content. See you back soon. Goodbye.